Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more. And yes, of course, it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. You can also check out the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you had Ford losing $5 billion on EVs in 2024, and 2025 isn't looking that great either. Now, this comes to us thanks to TheVerge.com, specifically Andrew Hawkins, who's a writer over there. And they say, quote, Ford lost $5 billion on EVs in 2024. They are teasing new models, and it predicts it will lose another $5 billion in 2025, which I guess is sad and comical at the same time, because inevitably, I mean, you keep having hard times, eventually you're going to have layoffs, and I mean, I really hope no one loses their job because the company keeps crumbling. Now, Ford did divide the company up into three separate divisions. You have Ford Blue, which is the one you and I love. You know, they make the real Ford Mustang, the one with the stick shift and a V8, and they make the Ford F-150, 250, 350, basically all the gas vehicles that you would see. You also have Ford Commercial, which makes a Ford 450, 550, X Banana Falcon, whatever trim level they call it, for the big commercial grade trucks, again, gas powered. And then you have the Ford E, the EV part of the company that appears to be losing money more and more, which is also very impressive to think that, again, Elon and Tesla, still the only main auto company to really make a profit on EVs. And they actually have better profit margins than most traditional manufacturers, which is pretty darn impressive to say the least. Now, diving into the specifics of the article, they note that, quote, Ford's electric vehicle and software business lost $5.1 billion out in 2024, an increase from 4.7 billion they lost in 2024. Jeez Louise. Or sorry, 2023, I believe. The automaker didn't anticipate any relief this year when it predicts to lose 5.5 billion on EV business. Ford reported its fourth quarter and full year earnings, but the prediction was tougher for the year ahead. Ford calls it, quote, headwinds related to market factors. Very nice way of saying no one wants your stuff. Now, again, Toyota did read the room right. When everyone else is going all in on EVs, Toyota invested $7+ billion into hybrid technologies, which, although I'm not a fan of, because, again, my vehicles always have three pedals, also known as manual transmission and gas engine, one of the fastest growing consumer segments in the United States in the adoption rate area is hybrids. So Toyota did read the room right yet again. GM, definitely not. Ford, not so much. And Ford EVs, they're collecting dust, and GM did pass Ford EV sales last year in terms of total number of units sold. Now, they also say that Ford also reportedly lost $1.4 billion in quote-unquote cost improvements from its Model E division. Yeah, I don't know how many improvements there were, but they spent the money. To be sure, they say Ford's gas cars are still going great, continuing to bring in enough revenue for the company to end the year in the black. The company reported a full net year income of $5.9 billion with adjusted earnings of $10.2 billion, but the company warned its earnings may drop $2 billion or more in 2025 thanks to costly new vehicle launches and falling car prices, which all manufacturers are finally listening to the consumers, where we said, hey, we can't afford all these things. So every major manufacturer is trying to come out with lower entry level trim models of vehicles and come out with some new vehicles that don't cost an arm and a leg. With, I believe in 2024, the average new cost of vehicles sold in the United States was around $48,000, which to me blows my mind. I mean, shoot, my Honda Civic Si, which I love my Honda Civic Si. I mean, shoot, that was around $26,000. And to me, hard to beat that bang for your buck. Extra pun intended, I suppose, because it is a gas-powered car, of course. Now, they know that on the earnings call, Ford CEO Jim Farley said in a few weeks of tariffs by Trump administration could be manageable, but protracted tariffs could have a huge impact on the industry, with billions of dollars industry profits wiped out and adverse effects on U.S. jobs, as well as the entire value system of the industry. He predicted higher prices for consumers if Trump's tariffs remain in place. They say Ford is struggling to keep up with rivals in the EV market, while General Motors released several new models last year, including a new Chevy and Cadillac vehicles. Ford only has 3 battery-powered EVs for sale. GM's EV business is showing signs of profitability. Getting there. I'll give them credit. And Ford previously canceled plans to introduce a 3-row electric SUV in hopes that its Silicon Valley-based Skunkworks team would enable it to roll out cheaper models in the near future. Farley said the automaker will introduce a range of powertrains, including battery, electric, plug-in hybrid, and extended range of EVs that use small gas engines to recharge its batteries for up to 700 miles of range, which is a great idea from over a decade ago when Chevrolet, or General Motors' parent company, they introduced the Chevy Volt. And for all 18 people who wanted it, they had the Cadillac, and was it the ELR, which looked cool, but yeah, it was just a Chevy Volt with extra lipstick on it. It was a coupe, only 2 seats, which, again, it looked a lot better than the Chevy Volt. Sorry, the Chevy Volt, but yeah, didn't sell that well. So it'll be interesting to see how Ford does in 2025. Again, it doesn't look like the EV segment will do good. And another thing, as far as the article didn't dive into, Trump is hinting he might get rid of the $7,500 tax, basically the tax break you get when we buy a new EV. Biden amended it so you had to have certain materials made in the USA. So that already started to introduce some curveballs, so to say. So it wasn't as straightforward as it used to be, where it just had to be an EV and just, get that tax credit of $7,500. So that could be another variable that could decrease the adoption rate because, again, $7,500, that's a pretty penny, so to say. It's a pretty big incentive to purchase it. But I don't know. When it comes to EVs, we'll see how, even Tesla's, their stock's been beat up a little bit past couple of weeks. But let me know, would you ever buy a Ford EV? They have F-150 Lightning if you want a truck that can't tow. And they have the Mustang Mach, which is a funny looking crossover thingamajig, which, again, it is kind of sad that the Mustang Mach has outsold the traditional real Mustang. But I partially digress. Let me know, would you ever buy a Ford EV? And when do you think they will make a profit? Again, a lot of these companies will lose money for years before they ever make a profit. Rivian is still losing about, $38,000 to $40,000 per EV. Lucid is about the same. Again, successful companies eventually make a profit. It's just a matter of how long you're willing to lose money to getting there. But let me know, do you think they might surprise everyone and squeeze out a profit this year, next year? And for, how many years will the shareholders be okay with it? Let me know thoughts and comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how to make the show better and better. Friendly reminder, we're going to have our first Q&A live stream Saturday, February 22nd, probably around 6 p.m. Texas time, or some people call it Central Time. So get ready for your first questions for the very first Q&A. We'll see how much fun that can be. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your enemies, heck, tell your coworkers, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.